What's on, ladies and gentlemen? My name's Ross, I like games, and today we need to be taking a little bit of a look at all of the lovely Autobot cards coming out in War for Cybertron Siege II, Wave 4 of the Transformers trading card game. Yesterday, or a couple of days ago, depending on when these actually get uploaded, I showed you all the new Decepticon cards, and we had lots of fun. But we need to talk about the Autobots as well. So starting off, we can take a look at Daring Escape, one of the most exciting cards in the entire set. It's got both a blue and a green icon. Blue good for defending, green is wonderful because of course it guarantees that you are going to be able to find it. Either you draw into it or you use the green icon to swap a card in your hand for it when you flip it while battling, that being attacking or defending. And it reads, for each Autobot you have on the battlefield, put the top card of your deck in your KO area face up. And then if your deck and scrap pile are both empty, you win the game. Now that means that every single card you have has to be on the board or in your hand or in the KO area, which is where Daring Escape, the first half of the card, comes in. So if you've got, say, 4 Autobots on the battlefield, you can put 4 cards from your deck into the KO area, and then hopefully you win. I did a full analysis of this card showing you some strategies. I'll pop a link in the description. But basically here we're talking lots of upgrades, because upgrades can be attached so they're no longer in your hand. And lots of draw so that cards end up in your hand rather than your deck or your scrap pile. It's exceedingly difficult to actually pull off, but then again, if you pull it off, you literally win the game right there and then. Given the stakes, I'm fine with it being a little bit more difficult to pull off. Now, Heroic Resolve is another one which I would call one of my very favourite cards in the set. Now, it is a star card, which means it takes one of your 25 stars to actually play, so you've got to really want to play it, and I know that I'm slightly biased because of the wonderful art of Hot Rod on the card. But firstly, it gives you a double blue icon, which is somewhat phenomenal when you are defending, and then here's what it does. You reveal it if one of your Autobots would take enough attack damage to be KO'd. I.e., when one of your Autobots is being KO'd, boo, but at least you get this secret action to help numb the pain. When it's revealed, instead, that character goes down to 1 health, and this card goes in your KO area. It guarantees that a character will not be KO'd. This isn't like Force Field where it's fine, but what if your opponent plays anything to get rid of it? Bashing Shield, for instance. No, this is going to be there, and you are going to be able to use it, and you are going to save yourself a KO. That's what's so good about this. And of course, kind of helps that you've got the double blue icon on the card as well. Very good card, very exciting. If you really want to stop your opponent getting a KO, if you really want to keep a character on the battlefield, you can't do much better than Heroic Resolve. Now, I'm sorry if I'm starting to repeat myself here, but Medic's Protective Field is also one of my favourite cards in the set. It just so happens that 3 of these cards that are Autobot cards are extremely exciting. I mean, one gives an alternate win condition, one guarantees that a character stays, and another one could potentially give you a combo which makes your cards invulnerable. Let me explain. So Medic's Protective Field then has a white icon, and you need a few of them in your deck. First one you flip while attacking or defending lets you flip 2 more cards. Yay! But it's an armor, and when you put it on a character, you repair 1 damage, that's fine. But it gives the character Safeguard Free. Well, Safeguard Free is wonderful. Safeguard Free is what we see on Autobot Hot Rod, for instance. And I love me Autobot Hot Rod. That is maybe the character I most want to start building around when Wave 4 comes out. Love Hot Rod. But what Safeguard Free basically says is that if you are undamaged, you will not take more than 3 damage. Now, yes, your opponent could drop even the slightest bit of cheeky damage. They could drop a single heavy landing, for instance, drop 1 damage counter on you, and then just go nuts and get a giant one-hit KO. Okay, fine, that is possible. But assuming they don't do that, you can only take 3 damage. And that was kind of nice, but I was saying for a little while, honestly, what we really need here is a way to heal free. And if we get a way to heal free, then we might be able to make this broken. Well, in comes Opportune Repairs, which is technically not an Autobot card, though it does give a specific advantage to Autobots. It's a mercenary card, it's got the mercenary logo. But if you've got a mercenary on your starting team, you repair 3 damage from one of your Autobots. Now, okay, Medic's Protective Field can actually be put onto Decepticons, but then Opportune repairs 3. So Safeguard 3 guarantees you don't take more than 3 damage. And then Opportune repairs 3 damage. Do you see where we're going with this, ladies and gentlemen? I'm hoping at this stage you do. You're invincible. Like I say, cheeky damage is a problem, as is drawing into it. Neither of these 2 cards I've mentioned actually have green icons, so finding them can be a bit awkward. There's plenty of things out there like Treasure Hunt or Private Fix-It that will make it easier to find your upgrade here, but that still doesn't help you find Opportune Repairs. That doesn't mean it's impossible, but it does mean it's a little bit more awkward. Now, what I do find very strange about this particular card, of course, it is an Autobot card, right? It's got the Autobot color border. It's got the Autobot symbol. It is technically an Autobot card. But it's not really an Autobot card. It doesn't give any benefit to Autobots or any specific Autobots, and it doesn't give any downsides to any other factions. Now, the reason why it's an Autobot card is because Safeguard is an Autobot skill, like we saw on Hot Rod. But even so, it's just a little bit... I mean, Opportune Repairs is more of an Autobot card because it gives a specific advantage, a specific benefit to Autobots. I might care just a little bit too much about this. Step Forward is a lovely secret action, gives you a blue icon, and it is revealed after your opponent chooses an attacker, and before they choose a defender, and when it's revealed, one of your Autobots gets Brave until end of turn. That is to say, as long as they are a valid target, your opponent has to attack them. So let's say you've got one untapped character at least, and you try and give Brave to an untapped character. Well, your opponent gets to attack tapped characters, not untapped. So they would still have to go after the tapped character without Brave, rather than the untapped character with Brave. And what this basically means is that you can guarantee that a particular character takes the damage. I'm honestly not a huge fan of this. I mean, we had Heroism back in Wave 1. And Heroism, if any of your characters would take attack damage, instead the upgraded character takes that damage. And in Wave 2, we got Bravery, which just gives one of your characters bravery. Now, I will say that this, Step Forward at least doesn't make you use one of your upgrades. And upgrades can be removed, whereas this just works. But I don't know if it's new enough or novel enough to make me particularly excited. And finally, Unflinching Courage. It has both a black and a blue icon, and we all know that defensive decks using Pierce are a thing. This is brilliant because you get both of the pips that you need. Now, it cannot be put on Decepticons, but that's fine. It's an Autobot card. And it gives you Bold 2. And Bold 2 is fine, but it is ever so slightly underwhelming. Now, we didn't have to wait until Wave 4 to get Bold 2. We had Flamethrower back in Wave 1, which gave you Bold 2. Now, to be fair, it gives you Bold 2 with an orange icon, whereas Unflinching Courage has a blue. But then again, a lot of the time when you're playing a bold deck, you want orange icons anyway. And then, of course, we've got stuff like Power Sword for melee characters, which is just better. I mean, if you really want to go nuts, you can try playing around with Superior Cannon, but then you also need to play Tech Research. It gets a little bit messy. Does give you Bold 4, but also gets just a little bit messy. And this one's here for the pip combination. If you want Bold and you want a blue and a black, this is great. If you're after Bold, we can do better, frankly. We have better options for Bold. But for what it is, it's not bad. It's alright. I mean, it is just the equivalent of Terrifying Resilience, which gives an orange and a black, gives Tough 2, and cannot be put on Autobots. They are very much parallel cards. So there we go, ladies and gentlemen. Those are all the Autobot cards coming in Wave 4 of the Transformers trading card game, War for Cybertron Siege II. And if you're thinking, hang on a second, Wave 4 already? Yeah, that's weird, right? Doesn't feel like the game's been out long enough to have 4 expansions, but it has and it does. I'm not complaining, this game's awesome. But I'd like to know what you all think about all these lovely Autobot cards, so please let me know your thoughts in the comment section. Go nuts! Be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at the Wossy. That's where we talk about Transformers and other games. And do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCGradio, where you can support the channel, get weekly bonus podcasts and all kinds of fun things. But by far the most important thing as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching Wossy Plays.